too. We're back to the Neil Haley Show. And, when you talk about weight loss, it's something that everyone tries to do. It's a magic bullet. But can it last forever? You can go and do intermittent fasting. You could try all these different things, but will it last forever? So it becomes a lifestyle. And my guest today is going to help us through that process. So I'm excited to welcome to the program, Jen Beck. Jen, how are you? Thanks for coming by.
I'm fantastic, Neil. Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited to be able to talk about this today.
Exactly. So Jen, basically give us your background and then we'll get into the topic. How can we keep weight loss off for good so it doesn't become a struggle where we're constantly yo-yoing all the time, like many people do, men and women, in my opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I was in my 20s, I got into nutrition because my mom had a series of relapses with her multiple sclerosis. She went from living on her own to being in a nursing home in about 6 weeks. And so I jumped into nutrition and alternative medicine, trying to find ways to help her, and have really been on a mission to be able to help people reclaim their health and their lifestyles and their waistline for about the last 20 years. I'm also certified in an emotional healing modality called LIFT. So my goal is to help people get to the root cause, figure out why they're carrying the weight in the first place. Because honestly, Neil, weight isn't the issue, it's a symptom of the issue. So we dive in, we get to the root cause, resolve that, and then from there, you actually can be able to maintain your weight pretty effortlessly and for life.
Okay, so I somehow lucked into specifically enough trying intermittent fasting and creating my own one, and it worked. And I lost the weight I wanted to lose. But it was just a lucky situation because I've tried other things and I stuck to it. And now I can maintain and make sure I don't go over that weight limit or start to build fat again. But the problem is that certain circumstances in your life, I was getting in great shape before, and then I had issues with my job I was with while being an entrepreneur, and COVID came, and boom, all that weight came on again. So how do we maintain this lifestyle? What tips would you give our listeners and viewers right now to really keep that weight off?
Sure. There's a few things. I think one of the primary ways to do it is to really maximize your stress management. Eating healthy and working out and things like that, the fundamentals of weight loss and maintaining a healthy weight, those are kind of a no-brainer, right? We all know we need to eat more vegetables. We should eat less processed foods, less sugar, and move our bodies. It's a lot of times the emotional and stress issues that get in our way that really lead us to eating things that are off track or lack of sleep, the lifestyle pieces. So one of the biggest things is really to manage your stress. Deep breathing is a simple way to be able to manage your stress. Even taking 10 seconds, put your hand on your heart, one on your belly, and thank you for the food I'm about to eat. Let it nourish my body, and take a couple deep breaths and decrease your stress, decrease your cortisol levels right before you eat. Making sure you've got half your body weight in ounces of water, eat more vegetables than you do anything else. Like really simple fundamentals like that, Neil. When we can lock those in place, it allows us to be able to default that, right? Our brain loves to automate simple tasks. So when we do the same thing over and over again, it allows us to autopilot it, just like brushing our teeth or tying our shoes. So simplify it, make changes in baby steps.
Does it become monotonous if you're talking about a lifestyle? How do you, so it doesn't become boredom? Because lots of people like to have experiences. And if it becomes the everyday mundane thing as human beings, we get bored and we lose track of really what our goals are.
Yeah. And I get that. And, the funny thing is I have a lot of people say, oh, I'm so tired of eating the healthy foods. They're so boring. I don't like to eat the same thing all the time. And I'm like, well, if we back up 2 weeks, you were eating burgers, fries, and chicken wings, the same foods all the time. So part of it is the fact that we need to make it interesting. We need to add flavor diversity. We need to not do the exact same things, right? If you eat chicken, broccoli, and brown rice every day of your life, 3 meals a day, like, oh. But I'm a foodie. I love food. I love to experiment with food. So it's really upgrading the quality of what we're doing and finding other things that actually fulfill us versus just using food to fill whatever fun, entertainment, comfort gap that there is that we're looking to be able to replace that void with food and sugar.
It's so true. It's like if you can go and do something like this your body's going to feel great. But what about those relapses? How do you keep yourself from not relapsing back to your normal old habits?
I think awareness is huge, right? For me, whenever somebody is starting to slip back, I have them start just writing down what they're eating and then how they're feeling after they're eating. For us to create any kind of lasting change, we've got to be aware of what's working and what's not. And for some people, they go down and they eat too few calories and their body goes into starvation and storage mode. For other people, they mindlessly eat while they're watching TV or when they're distracted. And so they're not paying attention to things like that. So raising your awareness about what's really going on, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis is important. And also creating a vision for what you want your life to look like. I have a client I'm working with right now, and she's historically tried to lose weight and tried to lose weight and tried to lose weight, and has always tried to lose weight so that life will be better. We started talking about how do you create a life that you're excited about living and set milestones along that way. For me, I was 19 years old and had been told I was fat too many times. So I started doing every diet under the sun. I mean, there's an entire year I ate carrots and cottage cheese for lunch because it was low calorie and low fat. But oh my God, I can't look at carrots and cottage cheese ever again the same way. So instead, it was looking at how do I feel my best? How do I eat the foods? Which foods really make me feel my best? So with clients, we do something called a metabolic design assessment, which looks at how much protein, fiber, and fat they need, which of those foods are their best fuel, and which ones are going to slow them down. When you know that, that's what goes on autopilot. I have a couple that went on vacation and they both maintained, well, he lost 3 pounds and she maintained after 10 days of eating out and drinking because they were eating in alliance with what their metabolic design is, how their body was their best fuel.
It's tailoring in that situation because you can be eating anywhere and figure out ways to eat healthy, but it's a challenge. But you got to feel when your body feels that way. I don't want to feel the way I felt before, and I refuse to now, just because I felt what that is. Some of these foods are so great to eat, but then you say to yourself, oh, it was not worth it. So Jen, where can people find more information on you and learn more about you? Where can they go?
Sure. They can go directly to my website, which is www.completehealthrevolution.com. You can also find me on social media at the same location on Facebook or LinkedIn. And for your guests today, Neil, I've got something a little special. I've got a guide that will help them drop a dress size in the next 3 weeks. Now, guys, you can lose weight too. You don't have to wear a dress to do it.
I was thinking about that. Come on now. Go ahead.
But if you go to dropadresssizeinthreeweeks.com, so dropadresssizeinthreeweeks.com, you can download the guide and it'll walk you through exactly how to get started. So you can create not just immediate results, but enforce those habits so you can create lasting weight loss.
Well, we appreciate it, Jen. It was great information. And definitely, I want to check back and look at those different things because it's such an important thing to find a resource like yourself to help people lose weight. Because when they lose weight and they feel great about life and they'll achieve anything that they can because our health is our wealth. And I appreciate you stopping by.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, Neil.
All right. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show, and we'll be back in just a moment.